TV sold you a lie. I thought friendships were always close-knit and deeply invested in every detail of each other's lives. I thought my days would be filled with hilarious adventures and every problem solved by the end credits. But none of that matched reality, and my reality didn't live up to what I saw on TV. Now I know my expectations weren't shaped by experience, they were shaped by a script. Myth number 1. You're supposed to be together all the time. TV convinced me that friendship meant always being together, hanging out every day after school, spending weekends in the same basement or coffee shop, and effortlessly maintaining this closeness into adulthood. Shows like That 70s Show, Friends, and How I Met Your Mother depicted friend groups as inseparable, not just physically together, but deeply invested emotionally. Chandler could walk into his friend's apartment, across the hall from his apartment. He could sigh, and 3 friends would just swarm him. They would listen, get invested.
I don't think that you should leave Chandler alone. I mean, it's only been 2 days since he broke up with Kathy. Maybe you can go fishing next week.
Essentially dropping everything to solve his problem. TV taught us this was normal, constant availability, endless patience, and unwavering emotional support. But here's the truth, real-life friendships rarely look like that. In high school, everyone has their own commitments. Clubs, sports, family obligations. In adulthood, it's jobs, kids, exhaustion, and unexpected responsibilities. And it's not a healthy expectation to think that your friends should drop everything for you when you're having a weird day. Real friendships aren't defined by daily hangouts or immediate emotional responses. When I got my driver's license, I thought my life would instantly become like the sitcoms I'd grown up watching. Late night drives, spontaneous hangouts, constant companionship. But when I texted friends asking to meet up, the replies usually came back the same. Nah, staying in to play Halo. And that was it, every single time. One evening I found myself sitting alone in my car, keys in the ignition, but nowhere to go. I wasn't angry, just confused. TV had taught me friendship meant always showing up, always being together. But in reality, everyone else seemed content with online chats and solo screens. In that quiet moment, I finally understood I wasn't failing at friendship. I was grieving a script I'd unknowingly accepted, a script handed to me by the shows I'd grown up loving. Myth 2. Sitcom sex equals real sex.
Donna, get out!
Whoa, not so fast, Lauren.
TV presented sex as something casual, effortless, and crucial for social status. In shows like Friends and How I Met Your Mother, intimacy was rarely portrayed as meaningful or personal. It was a currency, a status symbol.
Well, she's really good in bed.
For guys, sex became points on a scoreboard, a competition.
So these are some other girls' panties?
Dude, you're on fire!
Barney from How I Met Your Mother literally keeping score.
Your 200th, as in sex with?
As in sex with.
These lines reinforce the idea that sexual encounters defined success and popularity, that you were only as good as the hottest girl you could seduce.
You dumped her. This woman was unbelievably sexy and beautiful. Tell me when you did this again.
For girls, it became about validation and worthiness. Being pursued meant you were desirable and valuable. If no one was chasing you, you began to wonder if something was wrong with you.
It's been so long since you've had sex, you're wondering if they've changed it?
No, although now that's what I'm thinking.
When you grow up on that, you start to believe your value is tied to being wanted. These portrayals create immense pressure and skew expectations from an early age. In high school, it can make young people feel behind or inadequate if they're not engaging in casual hookups.
Hello, didn't you read Lord of the Rings in high school?
No, I had sex in high school.
In adulthood, it can distort perceptions of intimacy, making it harder to build meaningful relationships or appreciate genuine emotional connections.
Problem? You can't get a girl pregnant. That's the dream.
It can shape the belief that intimacy is about frequency and social acceptance, not connection or emotional safety.
You broke my heart. You know how many women I had to sleep with to get over you?
People might jump from partner to partner, chasing validation rather than building meaningful bonds. TV often mocks committed relationships, especially marriages, as boring or lacking passion. This narrative pushes the idea that excitement can only be found in casual encounters or brief romances.
Hey, Monica, this totally hot girl in Ross's building is flirting with me.
But the reality is, casual sex can be complicated, confusing, and emotionally messy. It's rarely the carefree experience TV promised.
Closeness, schmoseness. There was 3 of us, for crying out loud.
Feeling uneasy or simply uninterested in casual encounters doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It's entirely normal. Sitcoms also made losing your virginity seem like a crucial milestone that defined adulthood, pushing teens to rush into experiences before they were ready.
No, but I'm a virgin and it's driving me crazy. But that's not your fault. No, wait, yes it is.
Yet true maturity is about handling relationships responsibly, building emotional intelligence, and making choices aligned with your values, not checking sexual experiences off a list. True intimacy can be awkward, emotional, and deeply personal. It involves vulnerability and honest communication, not performance or competition. TV taught us that sex was about validation and status, but real intimacy, authentic connection, is far more rewarding and meaningful than any script could portray. Myth 3. Being emotionally guarded is cool. There's this unspoken rule in sitcoms: never be too sincere. If you're hurting, turn it into a joke. If you're scared, cover it with sarcasm. If you're lonely, pretend you're not. And we learned to do the same. Characters like Chandler or Barney made it look cool to never let your guard down. They joke about their trauma, deflect feelings with wit, and act like nothing ever got to them. Vulnerability was awkward, embarrassing, unattractive. So we absorbed that message. Don't show emotion. Be self-deprecating. Be funny. Be chill. And if you do feel something real, keep it private. Push it down, pretend you're fine. But holding it all in doesn't make you strong, it just makes you lonely. I spent years thinking being guarded made me more independent, less needy. But really, it made it harder for people to know me. It made real relationships nearly impossible. And when I was in a crisis, nobody knew, and nobody knew to help, and it took way longer to get out of that. Looking back, I can see how I used humor to hide everything. I thought if I could laugh about my pain, it didn't count. But the truth is, I was desperate for someone to ask how I was doing, and mean it. TV taught us to avoid emotion, but connection doesn't come from performance. It comes from presence, from honesty, from being seen, not just being funny. Sitcoms convinced me life needed a laugh track, constant excitement, and perfect punchlines. But real life isn't about performing, it's about connecting, even in silence. The truth is, we don't need scripts. We need each other, real, flawed, and honest. Because life's greatest moments aren't written for applause. They're written quietly, sincerely, between people who truly see each other. If TV lied to you too, subscribe and let's rewrite our expectations together. Share your own story below, because our unscripted realities are worth far more than any sitcom. And if sitcoms made you think life was all about these unrealistic expectations, let me really show you what life is about in my other video that focuses on avoiding major regrets in life.